Yesterday at a baptism, after I lit the candle and handed it to the godparents, the little girl was fascinated by the fire and kept looking at it and reaching out for it. As anyone with small kids knows, you have to teach them fire safety because fire is so attractive but also dangerous. We all have a fascination with fire. We love to look at it, and when it's safe, be near it. We love to have a fire in our fireplace if we have one, or maybe have a campfire on our back porch or when we are camping. But we make a mistake if we think that this is the kind of fire that Jesus is talking about in the gospel today. The fire of faith is not something safe and contained that we can use and enjoy when convenient, but also turn off and put away when we are done with it. Faith is not like a gas fireplace where it's like, on temporarily, and then, okay, I'm done, turn it back off. No. Jesus says Jesus came to set the world on fire. Not just one little flame here or there, but the whole world set on fire. And how he wishes that it were already burning. He is obviously not talking about something safe and tame. He's talking about a raging inferno that consumes everything in its path. The kind of fire that needs the National Guard and major evacuations. How great is my anguish until it is accomplished, he says. Do you think that I have come to establish peace on the earth, he goes on to say? There's nothing peaceful, tranquil, or still about the fire that Jesus burns with, and that he wants us to burn with too. It is not a gentle little flame on the stove that got the prophet Jeremiah thrown into a cistern in the first readings today. No, it was because he was boldly denouncing both the king and the society for their sins and their complacency towards God. It was not a cute little back porch fire that St. Paul burned with throughout his ministry, but a raging fire like an overfueled locomotive, belching embers and smoke out of its smokestack. So where are you? What is your fire alarm level? Are you a little pilot light on a stove that it's basically impossible to tell if it's even on? We have to look close and see if it's even lit. Or are you a person whose faith is bright and brilliant, hot and consuming all around it, and spreading that flame to other people and things around you? Unfortunately, I need to be like Jeremiah these days because so many are complacent and our flames are a weak and flickering thing that is given little fuel or air, an afterthought barely maintained. Regrettably, there are many examples at hand. We are beginning our RE classes soon, and I've been at this long enough to see many times over that every year families sign up for classes, come to class, and sometimes even Mass for 7 or 8 months, and then we never see them again after they get what they want. Our churches should be overflowing with the number of kids that have received baptism, First Communion, and confirmation. Where are they? Where are they? They're not here because their flame of faith was weak. They didn't care to actually feed the flame of faith. And so even though the parish tried to help them, and even though we tried to give them fuel for their fire, they didn't use it. But, lest we point fingers only at them, they weren't fanned by our flame either. Did we inspire them with our own faith? How about the Holy Day of Obligation that we had this past Friday? Where were you on Friday? Were you at Mass? Maybe only half of the parish was here at Mass where I am. Where were the rest of you? Could you not make time to celebrate the Assumption of our Blessed Mother into heaven? But Father, it was Friday. So what? Are your social plans more important than following the commandments of the church? But we had football practice. Doesn't matter. Celebrating the Mother of God being assumed into heaven is more important than any practice or meeting. Full stop. You can tell your coach I said so. If you knew that Friday was a holy day of obligation, which you should have, I told you several times, if you still knew but didn't make any effort, that is a grave sin. If you can't rearrange your schedule to prioritize what Holy Mother Church asks of you, which she does for your eternal salvation, literally the most important thing possible, what does it say about your priorities? You rearrange life for so many other things. Why not for Mass? Why not for things of faith? Where is your flame? What level is your flame of faith? Do you care? Or parish giving. As I've been saying, even after a significant budget cut, we are still not in the black with our parish budget. According to the website of Weatherford, Oklahoma, the average household income here is about $80,000 per year. If you take that and apply the rubric that Christians should be tithing, that is, giving 10% of their income, that means that the average household in our parish should be giving $165 to charity per week. $165 per week. That's 10% of $80,000 averaged over per week. Where are you relative to that? If you're nowhere close to that, to 10% or even 5%, $85 a week. If you just throw in a few dollars or whatever happens to be in your wallet, what does that say about your flame of faith? Do you care about the work of the church? Are you grateful for all that you receive? Do you understand what good could be done if you were more generous? The church needs more so that we can spread the fire of faith better to you and to other souls. We're not here to be static and complacent. We're not here to just do the status quo, but we're here to set the world on fire. But we need help to do it. Hopefully some things I have said about mass attendance today, about RE, about taking it seriously, about financial generosity, have afflicted your conscience. Good. Maybe you want to throw me into a cistern. That's the point. But don't be discouraged. Don't be just mad at me. Let's do something about it. Because the thing is that fire is not a static thing. Even the tiniest flame can grow into a fire of any size. So let this be a motivation to really look at the size of your flame of faith, to really evaluate where are you with God, to ask, what do I need to do to grow the flame of faith in my life? What fuel do I need to add to my fire? What will it take for me to be a member of that great cloud of witnesses that St. Paul speaks of? What do I need to be doing to persevere in running the race and keep my eyes fixed on Jesus? These are such important questions. You can do it. You can, with God's help, grow your flame of faith, such that your whole life is on fire with the light and energy of the gospel. Jesus came to set the world on fire. We want to be part of that flame. We really do. Let us look at our lives and do whatever it takes to be on fire in the way that Jesus expects of us.